for him as he come forward, and make a presentation in accordance to our project today. Thank you.
I'm very pleased to be here in this time of our British history and the struggles and the prosperities and the gains and the greatness that we also have achieved from Windrush till today. It's very sad, but I stand there in love. And if I heard other speakers speak about love, and God is love, and it's so important that we send a strong message of love to our community, that we can make change. You can make change. I saw some of your banners. Beware of the change. Put down the knife and have change. If you start to learn to love one another again and send that message out, it's very important. We're very fortunate and blessed to be here and coming together. You can do something in your families, your community. Don't say that you can't do anything when you can. By stepping up, I'm stepping up here to come here today to spend that time with you in love. We're standing right by the Tate Brixton Library, a place of education. We must educate people in the country, all people in the country, in putting down knife crime and fighting crime for a better Brixton, a better London, a better country, a more united country. While the country is going through struggles, we must unite in our churches, our temples, and our synagogues to do different. You can make change, and only us can make change by stepping up and doing what is right. It's very nice to be here with the Brixton Seventh-day Adventist Church, who has stepped up to do this program for the wider audience of Brixton. So you can make change. Choose to put down the knife and not pick up. Choose to put down the knife and change life. So I want to leave that with you. Choose to put down the knife and change life. May God bless you. I love you, and keep doing the good work throughout Brixton and throughout the community. One love.
Thank you very much, my brother. That was well said. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, are you enjoying the program so far? All right, you're good to have you. All those who are passing by, all those who stop by just to look what is going on, you are so welcome today. We are happy to have you as you stand to the left or stand to the right or you stand forefront here. We just want to remind you that we are here today from the Brixton Seventh-day Adventist Church, and we are saying, be the change. We care about our youth. We care about our citizens, and we are saying put down the knives, put down the guns, because we are against such criminal activities. All right, so I'll take another few minutes and just to bring you up to date as to some of the things that we do at Brixton Seventh-day Adventist Church. I already told you about our Pathfinder Club and our Adventist Youth Society. We also have an homeless project going on at Brixton Seventh-day Adventist Church. So every Thursday evening at about 7 p.m. we have a lovely group of people there making hot meals, cooking up a nice, tasty meal for those people who are homeless, or, even if you're not homeless, but you need a hot meal, you can come along, sit down, have a talk. If you want to share something, we have people there who are willing to sit and listen to you, and as you eat and drink, just to come together and have a good time. So we have this program going on, and that's every Thursday at the Brixton Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Youth Hall at 7 p.m. All right, so come along and be a part of this program if you choose to. Also, in the meantime, right, as we will continue the program, we have some more presentations coming up. Now, put your hands together, ladies and now. So please, put your hands together for the mayor as he comes forward to make his presentation.
Thank you. Yeah, this is good. Welcome, everyone. My name is Councillor Ibrahim Douglas, and I'm the Mayor of Lambeth. It is an honor to be with you today as we come together to demonstrate our unity and commitment to our neighbours. We are living through difficult times, but together we can achieve, we can overcome whatever the world throws at us. Lambeth people come from every corner, but we are united. Many backgrounds, but one common future. As mayor, this is my message. One community, one Lambeth, one London. Only by working together, we can overcome the challenges we face. And more than anything, we must support our young people so they can break the vicious cycles that can stretch across the generations. It is a complex and difficult challenge, but to have so many of you here today willing to stand up and be counted is a testament to the strength of our community and gives me a great hope. So thank you for coming, and remember to enjoy the day. Despite everything, we still have much to celebrate together. Thank you very much.
We just want to let the mayor know that our presence here today is an indication that as a church we are willing to stand with you and to help you achieve your objectives and to realize your goals here. Thank you again for coming.
Okay, so that was the Mayor of Lambeth giving his presentation there, and so much, so very important that even the members in authority come out in support of this program. Okay, so we have a Diadem. They're going to come again and sing for us. Put your hands together for Diadem. He's going to come again and sing for us. And then immediately after that, we're going to go into a candle lighting ceremony. So put your hands together as Diadem come forward.
And so we're just extending to you an invitation. Come by and see us. We're going to help you. We are going to help you raise your children to be dignified men and women in this community. And certainly, Mr. Mayor, we are going to have better citizens right here in Brixton, and your work will become so much easier. So, ladies and gentlemen, may God continue to bless you. We have lit the candles. Remembering the lives of those who have been snuffed out by knife and guns. We have lit the big one so that it represents all the families who have been hurted, all the families who have been experiencing pain, and we continue to pray for them. Thank you very much. We want to have a prayer for the families. And so, could I ask you to stand and bow your heads with me? Our Father and our God, we come to you at this time recognizing that you are God and there is none other. We're so happy to know that despite what is happening here, you are still in control, and you would always be in control. Today, Lord, we are standing here to let those who have lost their loved ones know that we are here to support them. They're not alone. Father, you alone know the pain that they experience. No one here would want to be greeted with such news as losing a son or daughter because of violence. And so we ask in a very special way, dear Lord, that you'd come divinely close to each family, each mother, each father, that you'd ease the pain, Lord, and that you'd help them to be able to overcome the anger. For we recognize that anger would not help. Hatred would not help. The only person that can help is Jesus. for you are the source of love. And even though the situation might be a tough one, it might be tough to forgive, we believe still that this is the only way out that can help us to recognize your love for us, and that can help us to support each other. We pray even for those who have committed the crimes. There might be somewhere in a prison now. We just ask that through your spirit you will reach out to them. You would help them to understand that what they did was wrong. You would help them to understand that life has much more to it than getting involved in crime. I just pray, Lord, that wherever they are, even now, that you'll reach out to them and that you'll speak to their hearts. And help, Lord, that when the time comes so that they can be released from prison, they can be able to come into the community and speak to the youth, helping them to realize the mistakes that they have made in their lives and helping them to guide the youth in the right direction. So we ask at this time that you'll please draw close and that you'll give peace and that you'll give comfort to those that are mourning and those that are hurting. And so we thank you. We look forward to the day when Jesus will come and establish his own kingdom, when there would be no more crime, when we would see no more tears flow from the eyes of parents who have lost their loved ones. Oh God, we ask that you'll come quickly and take us to this wonderful place where we can live with you eternally in the bliss and happiness of what you've provided for us. Thank you for hearing and answering our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yeah, you may be seated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. That was our resident pastor, Pastor Keith Balto, and the mayor of Lambeth, remembering those who have lost their lives because of gun and knife crime around our capital. All right, so we have some more presentations coming up, and just to remind you that we have gifts as well. So if you're here and you need a gift, get a gift before you go, all right? Make sure you just raise your hand, or just tell any one of those people you see in uniform around that you're a visitor, you're a passerby, you want to check out what's happening, you want to give so you can get to be a part of what's going on. Just let one of them know, and we will come. Oh, there's a sister. All right. Yeah, we'll certainly give you a gift. Okay, all right, that's all right, that's cool. All right, so we have some more presentation coming up, but in the meantime, I'll share a poem with you, which is very much in accordance to what we protesting today. All right, so here we go. Be the change, because I'm not a statistic. He says, sometimes we allow the world and its ways to define our nature. We seem to forget the values and standards that form our very culture. The principles and lessons our parents taught us are no more seeming relevant. Modern styles, hip-hop vibes, and the urge to blend in with the crowd take precedence. But by God's grace, I refuse to yield to the devil and his tricks. God made me strong, and I'm proud to declare today I won't be a statistic. Be the change, though I walk through the valley of the gang warfare, gun and knife crime, I will fear no evil. Though I may be influenced to struck with a gun or carry a knife, I'll be faithful to God like Abel. Though I may have friends which tell me it's just not cool to be a Christian, I prefer to be a true witness for Jesus than to be a statistic of this nation. Be the change. For by God's grace, I refuse to yield to the devil and his tricks. God made me strong. I'm proud to declare I won't be a statistic. Sometimes it's hard to be humble and to be good every day. But don't stay down if you stumble unless it's on your knees to pray. There are times when you feel frustrated to be the odd one out. Everyone's saying you are not so cool. Be wise and make smart decisions, even though the world may call you a fool. In war and violence, people always get hurt. Mothers losing their son as though their life has no worth. We've got to make a difference. We've got to be the change. Choose the right path. And trust me, with Jesus, it does work. By God's grace, I yield. I refuse to yield to the devil and his tricks. God made me strong. I'm proud to declare I won't be a statistic. Yeah, keep the hands going because there's more coming. They said the stats appear in the media, you hear it everywhere you go. Black kids are more likely to commit a crime more than any other nation, you may know. We are being stereotyped and labeled as known good. What do you expect? We walk around displaying dignity, but to the world we are always regular suspects. Just remember they asked me the same question about Jesus. They asked the same question about Jesus. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Can anything good come out of Lambeth? By God's grace, I refuse to yield to the devil and his tricks. God made me strong. I'm proud to declare I won't be a statistic. Be the change. Let us therefore shine and outshine, illuminate above the world. Let me know we are a proud nation, people of dignity who cannot be bought or sold. Our foreparents fought for freedom from oppression and inhumane cruelty. We need to acknowledge the words from our legendary Bob Marley and free ourselves from mental slavery. By God's grace, I refuse to yield to the devil and his tricks. God made me strong, so I'm proud to say I won't be a statistic. Be the change, cause life is not just about living for a thrill, getting the next fix, earning a street cred, or just doing what you will. It's about earning values, building a good character, and nurturing the right skill. Quality is not a destination that you get to and then stop. It is a valuable journey throughout life. You keep going until you get to the top. Be the change. If you build on a strong foundation of good moral today, we'll have a strong, durable tower that will last for every day. So by God's grace, I refuse to yield to the devil and his tricks. I prefer to be the change, because God made me strong, and I'm proud to declare I won't be a statistics. That was written by yours truly, Roger Campbell. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, coming up is our next presenter, our speaker, Mr. Nathaniel Pete. Now, Mr. Pete is the founder of the multi-award-winning enterprise, The Safety Box, which works with violence in education and in prison, and the safeguarding of youth at risk in schools and college. He's here, he's gonna come forward and make his presentation. Put your hands together for Mr. Nathaniel Pete. Thank you very much.
Big up Lambeth. Everyone say unity. Say unity. This is about being a light. And the thing is, when you have a light, a candle, when you have a candle that lights, it is by itself not very bright. Would you agree? But when you get a candle next to another candle, and a candle next to another candle, and a candle next to another candle, and you create a bigger light, it has a bigger impact. Agree? And so this is about being together. It's about unifying, and that's why I have to big up the church for doing this. Because the Bible says that we are the light of the world. The Bible says that we are the salt and the light. And so we have to be the vehicles of change. It has to be the mothers, the grandmothers, the brothers, the sisters that are connecting to the organizations that have the expertise to do the work with the young people. So many people want to work with youth, but they don't know how. And so it's about connecting with the organizations that can teach you how to do that. My organization, the Safety Box, works with high-risk offenders in prison. We work with the guys that go out into the ends. In fact, when I heard that the church was doing this, I had to call my sister, Pastor Lorraine Jones, who works in Angel Town, to come because this is her territory. And you see, what it is that when we start to get the links, we start to create a bigger change. When we're working with the frontline gang members in the prison, we're getting them to reduce the levels of violence by getting into their mind and extracting the trauma, all of the pain that has been sown into them when they were young, all of the negatives that have gone into their mind when they were young, when they saw their mum beating up the child and see the dad licking to the mum, and they've witnessed the young people on the streets murdered. We get into the mind and we pull out that nastiness and take out the dirt and sow and invest light into their life, and it changes their life. The impact has been measured. We achieved the highest rates of violence reduction in one of the most violent youth prisons in the country. Cookham Wood, with the young people, reduced group violence by 95% in a year. We're reducing the levels of violence in prison. What happens when we're working with the elders that are on the ends? We say, look, you've got influence, you've got power. Help us to stop the beef that's on the road. So tell the man them to not go out with a shank. Tell the man them over there to not release the strap. The shank is the knife, the strap is the gun. And so you're creating big change from these leaders that have been knocked away from their destiny, because all of them are so powerful. That's why they can go and groom all these young people on the lines and send them out to country. You need to know the terms. What's OT? OT means out of town. What's go missing? That means you go off the radar. When you see all the young people going around WhatsApp, this young person's gone missing. Do you know what? They're going country. They're going on a drug run. Understand what the young people are doing in bringing into the house. You can't afford to buy them trainers. They've got the trainers. Where are they getting the money for the trainers? You need to ask the question. If your foil is going missing, your foil is going missing in the kitchen, what does that mean? That might mean drugs. If you're seeing other things happening, the negative that is going into our young people has to change. We have to be the light. Church, you need to do more. Do an offering for Pastor Lorraine in Dynamic. Go and do an offering for this lady. She's doing amazing work in Lambeth. Think about donating some money into youth organizations where the government don't give us no money. They give it to the big charities. Church, we need you. Sisters, brothers, we need you. We are to be the change. We are to be the change. Everyone say unity. Everyone say love. Everyone say unity. Say, I am the light. I will be the change. And put everything, all your concerns on the Father in heaven, because he will lift you up. He will take you higher. That's why we have this brand, Aspire Higher. It's like an eagle, because it's written in the word, you will rise up on wings like eagles and you will fly. You're not going to be a chicken. Chicken only get killed. They only get put in the chicken pen. That's like prison. They only get killed. Tell your young people to stop associating with negative people, because bad company corrupts. Chickens only die and their heads only down. But instead, rise higher. Look higher for where your salvation comes. The church has asked me, they know I play the saxophone. I'm going to play the saxophone now. This is my ministry in music. All to Jesus I surrender.
I surrender all. We want to big up Nathaniel for their presentation and for informing us of the marvelous and wonderful work he's doing among our youths in prisons, the youths on the street, educating them, letting them know that there is an option, another option. It's not all about the knives and the guns and street cred, but here's another option that they can choose, right? And that's why we are here today, from the Brixton Assembly Adventist Church, saying to the community, be the change. Because we realize that it's only when we personally get involved in doing something to make a difference or to display a characteristics that will seek to upgrade or to send a message about positive development that we can be the change that we are trying to achieve here. The youths have their own language on the street, as Natalia tell you. They have their own way of solving problems or what they see as solving problems. And we who are here, we who know Christ and the principles, what Christ stands for, have to be the medium through which we educate and inform these people, these young people, that there's an option outside of the gun, there's an option outside of the knife, there's an option outside of the violence. All right? So, as we continue with this theme today, to be the change, may we all seriously take on board and decide, if we have not yet done it from today, that we're going to practically get involved in being a part of this community solution to help to be the change. So if we're going to take a young person under our wing, we're going to speak to them, we're going to help to shelter them, we're going to help them to choose a positive and the right pathway to reach that place where they can be free of the influence of gun violence. They can be free from the influence of knife violence. They can be free from the influence of doing all the negative things around their community and be that person who's going to be positive, that person who's going to grow up into be a man or a woman who have good values that can take them not only for today but throughout years to come. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Nathaniel, for that presentation. Thank you for the song that you sing. And as we continue, now we're going to hear a presentation about peer pressure and prevention. And we're going to invite Christopher and Kadeen to come along as they're going to take you through this presentation, peer pressure and prevention.
Is it working? Huh? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Norman, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. Now, we should know someone called Uncle Phil, Aunt Viv. Maybe I can come a bit closer. The Cosbys. Maybe I'll come a bit closer. The Kardashians, the Jenners. These are the family structures that our culture is now telling our young people that that is a family. So you know what they have done? They've created their own family. Before they were called PDC, SUK. Now we have Guest Gang, 67410. These are the families these young peoples have been creating these days. And why do they join these families? Because they have leadership. There's a brotherhood. And guess what? They teach them how to make money. Parents, are you teaching your children how to make money? Why are they on the road? Why are they willing to stay up 3 o'clock in the morning to go and buy trainers? What have we been teaching them? So I had to think, when I was in church, what was I taught? Spare the rod? Come on, spare the rod? So I had to do some research. What does the rod mean in Hebrew? The rod was used for the shepherd, guidance, pull them out of danger. The rod is used for walking, for fighting, for ruling. So I was thinking, why when I hear spare the rod, spoil the child, I think of physical abuse. Why when I hear spare the rod, spoil the child, I think of beatings. What happens when you have to use the rod for guidance? How are you guiding your young people? What if you have to use the rod for protection? How are you protecting your children? Molestation. A lot of the children have been going through a lot of abuse. Their uncles, their cousins, the people you're letting in your house. Are you guiding your young people? A lot of them are walking on the road in pain. I work with young people every day. And one of my students was stabbed in the neck right outside school. Blood coming out, head teacher, everybody. Luckily he didn't die. But what I was told is that my student, well, that was in my detention, that's the one that they wanted to come and kill. So my detention saved his life. What are we doing to save our young people's lives? What are we doing to save our young people's lives? What I want you to bring to a text in Proverbs. It says, the rod and reproof gives wisdom, but a child left to himself brings his mother shame. What kind of shame? What are we doing for stealing? And I'm not talking stealing money, I'm talking stealing grapes in Tesco. Stealing the little sweets when they're young. What are you doing for that? What are you doing for laziness? You clean your children's room, they don't know how to clean. They don't have no discipline. What are you doing for lying and deception? These are the little skills that they're building up from younger. Train up a child in a way he should go, and he will never depart from it. What is it? He will never depart from the training. What training do you have in your house? Are your children in your house? What is the home for your children? Is their home at the side of a street corner? Is their home in a trap house? Do you guys know what a trap house is? Do you know what a trap house is, Auntie? A trap house is where they have all the druggies and they go and sell their drugs and they boil up their crack and their cocaine. And I know Brother was talking about the missing foil, when they roll up the foil and you hear about bags. When you hear about bags, what comes to your mind? Bags is how much they're weighing. Bags mean money. If I have 10 bills in your head and you're at home and you hear your children saying bills, you know what bills mean? If they say they have 3 bags, you know what bags mean? That means I have 3 grand, 3,000 pounds. Did you know that? You need to get familiar with the lingo of your children. How are you training up your child in the way they should go, so they should never depart from it? You're not gonna like me today. I'm coming for the parents. I'm coming for the aunties. I'm coming for the cousins, because we're the same one that's gonna reach at the funeral. And we need to stop it from now. What are you doing to protect your children? That's it.
So, as KD says, I'm really here to provide a bit louder, yeah? So I'm really here to provide a bit of a contrast to her. So also it's in KD's world where she teaches students, etc. But for me, when Kelly was asking me to come and speak about peer pressure, I, partly ignorantly, but also I said, I can't remember a time where I felt peer pressured. So I'm 31, I can't remember when I was a teenager, when I felt peer pressured. So I couldn't relate to it. It was difficult for me to say that I'd been peer pressured as a kid or as a teenager. But here's what I came to realize, that there are different types of peer pressure that exist. Do you know that? So essentially, let me take it back a step. So the reason why we're talking about peer pressure, actually Pastor Lorraine's testimony could have closed this day down. It was that powerful, right? She talked about it from a personal experience of being essentially the victim, right? But here we're talking about peer pressure as part of the perpetrator. So the person who picks up a knife and stabs someone. There is something that causes someone to pick up a knife and decide to end someone's life, right? So we have, some of it is explained by economic issues. So living in poorer areas causes you to sometimes join a family, as Kadeen said, or gangs. They enable you to get more money or get more status. There are social issues. There are family structures. So from single parent homes, oftentimes they don't have the example of a strong father or a strong mother in that household. So looking at those things, I thought to myself, I can't relate because I don't remember when I was peer pressured as a kid. So I was researching the different types of peer pressure. So there were 4 that came to mind. So there was number 1, there was spoken peer pressure. So spoken peer pressure is exactly this. When in a group of friends or as young people, they say something that encourages you to do something negative, right? So that is spoken peer pressure. Then there is unspoken peer pressure. So unspoken peer pressure is when you don't say anything, but you're looking at your friends and their lifestyle, like KD mentioned, and you're looking at their lifestyle and think their lifestyle's better than mine. So that's unspoken peer pressure. So guess what you do? You start to live a lifestyle like the person you are admiring, right? Then there's number 3. There is negative peer pressure. Now this is outwardly. This is when they dare someone or they tell you to do something negative, right? So if you're in, as Katie mentioned, I remember my group of friends, so they used to encourage us to kind of do something like slightly negative. So they would outwardly say it. It wasn't a positive peer pressure, it was negative. But here's the 4th part that I could relate to. This was positive peer pressure. So it's understanding that not all peer pressure is bad. There is positive peer pressure. So positive peer pressure can do this. It can make you pick up a sport. So when you're in school as a teenager, football's the primary sport, right? So we all pick up football. It can make you pick up new hobbies. It can make you do things like this. I didn't really want to do, but Kelly was positively peer pressuring me to come and speak. So there's positive peer pressure. And here's what I realized. The reason I couldn't relate to negative peer pressure is because my life was surrounded by positive peer pressure. I was raised in a family that forced me to be positive, right? They told me that your life had to be positive. You had to strive to be the best that you can be. And guess what? That's not just my blood family, that is my church family. I grew up around you guys and seeing your lives, and guess what? I wanted to be like you. That is positive peer pressure. And this is what my family taught me. They taught me 2 things. Number 1, this is my favorite text. Be not conformed to the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what is good and acceptable and the perfect will of God. So here's what they taught me. I was in the world, but what? Not of the world. So it taught me that I had to exist in this world, but I saw a bigger picture. Does that make sense? So my positive peer pressure was, hey Chris, when you were born, we dedicated your life to Christ. And guess what, buddy? You have to continue in that pathway. So I understood, as that brother said, that they that wait upon the Lord, he shall what? Renew their strength. So this is the second part that I can relate to. They taught me this, that life isn't easy. There will be times when you will struggle and you will have to make decisions. There is the right way or there's the wrong way. So you have 2 options to decide what to do. And then part of that, this is what I understood as well, that peer pressure is fleeting. It doesn't last. The pressure you felt as a teenager doesn't last. When you grow up, guess what? You get into the big bad world, it's entirely different. So here's the solution for parents. So for those who are suspicious that your kids are involved in this, there's number 1, communicating with your children. There's number 2, instilling in them that they are unique. And what is unique about them is special. So guess what? If they feel special, if they feel like they're the child of a king, they don't need to follow other people who are living a life that's negative. Does that make sense? So it's down to the parents, as Kay Dean said, and for the influencers around them to do these two things, to speak to your kids. Number two, ensure that they understand that they're positive. And number three, encourage them to make the right decisions. And the only way they can do that is by accepting Christ. That's literally the only way. That's what saved me when I was thinking about it. Because some of my friends were bad guys, right? They did bad stuff. Let me rephrase that. They did bad stuff. But what saved me is that I would come to church on a Saturday, I would be in Pathfinders on a regular basis, I would be forced to sing by my mum and my sister to harmonise with them, be forced to sing in the praise team, in the choir. I had positive influence, I had no choice. So here's the thing, what was amazing to me, so I tell everyone, I was born in Nigeria, so we came here around about when I was 8 or so. So I went to school, went to secondary school, and then went to sixth form. And then my friend said, I'm not going to uni. And I thought, that's an option? I genuinely never knew you could not go to university. The way I was brought up, that was the final place. And then you get a job, you marry a wife, you have kids, do you know what I mean? So I was surrounded by that as a kid, all the way up to when I was older. So when my friend said that, it blew my mind. I said, you have a choice? So essentially what my parents did for me is that they created a pathway, but ultimately I had to choose. So I had to choose to be around you guys who are positive influences. So what we're here to say is that yes, they can be victims, but also we can prevent this. And the way in which we prevent this is by looking at our church in a different light. It's not just a service that happens every Sabbath, but it's understanding that every action that you take, the words that you speak, the fact that you sing, the fact that you encourage people, the fact you ask us how our school's going, makes a difference to young people's lives. Does that make sense? So our church is more than a service. Our church is more than just singing. Our church is more than that. Our faith is everything. Our faith can make someone change their lives. Our faith can transform a young person's life. Our faith can make someone stay in education. Our faith, listen, I'll big up my church. Our faith can make you healthy. There's this Instagram culture of going to the gym. I learned that from my Bible. Do you know what I mean? I learned that from our faith, right? Getting buff and thing. You get that from your faith. Right? It's all down in the Bible. It's all down by our faith. So positive peer pressure can make a difference. Does that make sense? So that's what we're here to say. And one of the things that we do as a youth department, we have something called Friday Night Live. So it happens once every Friday, so the first Friday of every month. Essentially what we're doing is providing a softer landing for young people to come into the faith. And for them to see that our church is way more than coming in for Sabbath school and divine service. That our church can encompass so many positive things in your life that will transform you. And here's the beauty of it. When you get transformed, guess what? Other people around you begin to get transformed as well. So what my brother was saying about being the light of the world, it comes from you being a positive influence. That is an amazing power that you have. So we can have these organizations that absolutely do practical things to change people. But guess what? We exist for the exact same reason as positive influences and positive peer pressure.